Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Ngatikata Inu First Nations people and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. I'm still trying to get through yesterday's comments, so thank you so much for them. It's just the community here is amazing. Please seek each other out and make some friendships amongst yourselves because you're just all so beautiful. Yeah, there was a troll, and yes, I did grab it. If you ever notice a troll they tend to attack on the community page. If you go to the three little dots that sort of dot that are down the side of their comment, you can actually report them and then block them so that you can't see them. But by reporting them, it does remove them from the page for everybody else. So thank you all that did that. By the time I actually got over to the community page, because they tend to strike in the middle of my night, I think the main ones had been blocked and prevented. So thank you for that. And there is no way that I would start a comment going, my brethren, whatever's, and start quoting scripture or asking for money. That is absolutely not me. So entertainment only. What I'm going to do today, interestingly enough, is, well, we'll see whether it's interesting or not, is I'm actually just going to ask yes-no questions with Pendulum and see where it leads us. I'm a little bit late on today because we had a busy afternoon. My mum got her driver's license back, so we spent today getting her license back so that when I go home on Sunday, she can drive where she needs to go and, locally to start with and just see how she goes. So that was a huge step in the journey back from in part of her cancer journey. In regards to being called a skin being, hey, that's cool. I give my guides just as big a hard time as they give me. So yeah, they're rude. I can be rude back again. We understand each other and there's absolutely no problems there at all. If you do hear them, put it in the comments if you can pick up what sort of time it is, because a lot of people say, oh, I heard a gruff male voice. Was that one of your guides? And they can look and if somebody else has noted it down, that they can see that, yes, it is. Because, hey, I'm in a garden backyard here with nobody around. My mum is up the other end of the house in her office, probably checking her emails as she does. And there's no noise, and the microphone has proven that it doesn't pick up noise like the power tools next door. And NATO is in Brussels, so quite a few of you, I went, where's that? Why am I picking up Brussels? The Hague? No, it's actually NATO that's in Brussels. I have no idea what I actually said about it, but we're looking at NATO there. So I've got a list of questions here. Just one thing that I wanted to make a comment on that I found really interesting is that I was sitting there pondering with my mum, as I do, going to miss these conversations that we have, pondering with my mum how people get taken in by Trump, by Felon 45. I'm not going to call him 47 because I just don't feel he's 47, and I still feel absolutely no desire to read on any of his cabinet picks because I just don't think they're going to be in there, or if they are, they're not going to be in there for long. We were having this discussion about why people get lured. Do they not hear what he is saying? And she said, well, this is her age of experience, and she was in with real estate, very successful real estate agent, and then worked as a government commissioner for many years. So in politics for a lot of her adult life, was also a corporate wife for a lot of years. So a lot more experience than I have. She said they get lured by his sing-song cadence. She said, no, they don't hear his words. All they hear is the sing-song cadence, the lilt, and when you don't listen to him, because I can't stand his voice, but if you think about his voice, he does have this sort of very much snake oil salesman, pitch that he goes through. So no, they don't listen to his words. They listen to the tone of what he's speaking, and they get almost hypnotized by the way it's delivered. Ugh. I don't understand it because I'm a words person, but anyhow, Susan is on that topic. Susan Lynn did an amazing video that I watched earlier today about surviving. what's coming up. She doesn't think it's going to be for long either, but very much about looking after yourself. Some really good advice about uh, making sure that you have enough and ensuring that you have enough, but also about protecting those in the community that are more vulnerable. Because, hey, it's all right for me. I'm a squeaky white female on the other side of the world, but there's a big threat for a portion of the US. I'm going to ask whether it's actually going to come to fruition, but this is very much about protecting. It's very much like in Australia, those who are Australian will know what I'm talking about when I say the Biloela family. This was a family that had come in, overstayed their visa, had applied for residency because they were persecuted. They were just the mother and the parents, the two parents. They met in Australia, but they had been persecuted for being a minority group in their home country. They met each other, they got married, they had two children in Australia. So that's like birther children in the US. They had been in a particular small country community for about 10 years. They both worked incredibly hard. The kids went to school, the little primary school there, and they were beloved. They were loved by their community, and the community of squeaky white people like me were fighting for them to get permanent residency. Well, we had at that time a real, shall I say, a-hole of a foreign minister, vibes of Stephen Miller, and you know who I'm talking about in Australia, who wanted to make an example of them, spent $12 million opening up a detention centre on the other side of the country, sent in agents to seize this family, sent them to this detention centre. They were the only ones there, the mother, the father, and the two very, very young children. I think only the oldest daughter was at school at that time. The younger one was even younger. And kept them there. I can't remember for how long, but the community fought and fought and fought and fought to get them released and returned to their home. And that's what we need to do. Those of us that maybe are in a bit more of a privileged situation, we need to be the voice. We need to fight for those that perhaps cannot fight these fights alone. And whether that's trans, whether that's birthers, whether that's people of colour, whether that's older people trying to get rights and services, veterans, homeless, whoever it is, we need to stand together and be the voice, and united we are stronger. Okay, I'll hop off my little soapbox now at 8 minutes in and start asking these questions. So what I want to have a look at, first up, I'm just going to say, so supposedly an executive order has been signed and the declaration was made that the US is out of the World Health Organization. No, I'm sorry. How it actually goes is the executive order that was signed was just a order to start the procedure, and the procedure starts with writing a letter to the WHO to notify them of the intention to leave, and it takes at least a year to actually leave the WHO. So WHO, World Health Organization. And it's exactly the same for the Paris Accord climate agreement. It takes all Trump. That's why I say he's all about the showmanship. Let me put it that way: the showmanship. With his declarations that, oh, we're out of the World Health, oh, we're out of the climate agreement. No, you're not. You're not. You're still in it. You still have to abide by it. You still have to put the money in, etc. All that he has done is signed a document that says we intend to, and let's start with the letter. I'm just going to, and I've said this before, and he is simply a bloviating bag of hot air. quote from Troy, the movie, but yes, a bloviating bag of hot air. He's just full of stuff, of things that come out the back of male cows, let me put it that way. And full of petty bitterness. You can see it on his face. It's vengeful, petty bitterness. And I just look at it and I go, my goodness, that must be awful to live with. Imagine living with that internally. It must be just, 78 years of petty bitterness. Just awful, awful, awful. And if you were thinking about Melania's smile at the inauguration, or the thing, as my boys tell me, it wasn't an inauguration for whatever reason they're telling me, at the thing that they did, that was a grimace. Talk about a grimace. I can do a grimace too. It doesn't make it a smile. Doesn't make it a smile. Okay, let's ask these questions, otherwise I'll still be here ranting away at midnight. So for those that are new, my pendulum is an amethyst that's been with me for 25 plus years, some wire from the craft shop, and a chain that was in my drawer. Now, I'll try and leave this line a little bit longer. I have got my cards here if I want, but I'll leave the chain a little bit longer. But I do like to hold it in picture so you can see it's not me waggling away. And I've got my elbow on the table. So let's get started. And if you have any other questions, just pop them below and I might add them to the list if I haven't covered them already. Right, my first question. Okay, for those that are new, okay, round and round means they're ready for a question. Can you show me yes, please? Can you show me yes? Back and forth. And can you show me no, please? Can you show me no? And no is side to side. I've only got the chain fairly short, so we don't get a big swing. But hey, put me on pause, go grab your own pendulum, grab your rods, whatever you do, and ask along with me. I'd love to know if you get the same thing. Right, ready for the question. Will the United States withdraw from the World Health Organization? Will they actually withdraw from the World Health Organization? That's a no, side to side. Okay, thank you. Is Donald Trump going to start the process to withdraw from, and that's a big yes. So I'm getting a no that they're not going to. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? Okay, can I ask a question, please? Doesn't matter which way it goes round and round, it just does its own thing. Okay, can I ask a question, please? Does Donald Trump intend to start the process of, yeah, it's straight into a yes. I'm asking about the climate agreement. Yes, he does intend. You'll notice that he's already declared a border emergency and an energy emergency, aside from the fact that anyone that works in either of those two sectors are going, what? There's no emergency. But that just gives him extra power. Okay, is the US going to actually withdraw from the climate agreement, the climate accord? And that's into a no. Side to side is a no. Okay. Tariffs. Is the US, okay, does Donald Trump really intend to put 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada? I know I'm lumping them in together and that's a big yes. He really intends to. Okay. Are there going to be introduced tariffs on Mexico? Yes. Grump. Okay, can I ask, please? Is there going to be tariffs put on Canada? Yes. Okay. Can I ask a question, please? Does that mean prices are going to be significantly higher for goods that come from those areas? Does that mean prices are going to be significantly higher? Yes. Okay. Susan Lynn, I'll get ready for the next question. Susan Lynn made a really good comment that please be aware that this is going to happen. If you can put an extra $5 or $10 aside a week, not where you can get at it easily. Stick it in a Ziploc bag in the back of the freezer or somewhere like that, just so that take advantage of the community pantries if you can, or wherever they supply perhaps one meal a week, and save that money. It might mean the difference between being able to help out a neighbour that got caught short, or help out yourself. So please, 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 wherever you can, go back to write down the pen and paper budget if you can, because can I ask, is the US economy going to, I was going to say tank, but it's the US economy going to tank? Oh man, is the US economy going to take down the the economies of Mexico and Canada? Is the US economy going to take down other economies in the world? Is it going to? And it's angled, so it's yes, sort of. Some yes, some no, and it depends how dependent you are on the sending to the US. I know New Zealand apparently does export a lot to the US. It's their second biggest export country. So they're really worried over here in New Zealand. I think Australia, it goes China, India, and the US is Europe, and then the US is down a little bit, so it doesn't affect Australia as much. But yeah, other economies. So governments are scrambling to try and work out what to do. Okay, is Trump's going to attempt? Oh, straight into a yes. It knows, because it knows what I'm going to ask. Okay, thank you. I'll just bring my finger down a little bit more so you can see it's not me waggling away. Is Donald Trump going to lead the attempt to move the US dollar to cryptocurrency? Is that his intention? Yes. Is Donald Trump going to be successful in moving the US dollar to cryptocurrency? No. Okay, I want to ask on that cryptocurrency. He and his missus, they both launched a crypto coin the day after each other or something. They cashed in at the top. They launched it, sold, and both coins in value, because there's nothing behind crypto. Crypto at the moment is a Ponzi scheme. There is nothing behind it. At the moment, with the currencies and the dollar, it tends to be the government stability, etc., is behind the government's ability to pay is behind the value of a dollar, but there's absolutely nothing behind crypto. But both him and the missus launched a crypto coin or currency each, and both of them literally pump and dump. Okay, so are they going to be held accountable for their pump and dump? Are they going to be held accountable for their pump and dump? And that's a sort of, so whether it's a outrage slap on the wrist or whether it's legal action or quite what, I don't know, but it's not a definite yes, it's a sort of. Okay, can I ask a question? Goodness me, this pendulum's starting to feel heavy. It's got a lot of energy in it. Has this turned a sector of his supporters off? Has this pump and dump, because there are people that have invested their entire life savings in it. Yep, that's a yes. Now, remembering, oh boy, and I've made this comment a lot of times in the comment section when people replying to people. The only way to destroy a cult, and Trumpism is a cult, is for it to basically implode from the inside. On the outside, we can't make a difference to their devotion and belief. It has to come from within, and I've been saying that for months. So every time he does something like this, he turns off a sector of his supporters. So I'm just asking again, this pump and dump, yes, it really, I mean, he doesn't care what they make, 40 billion or something out of them. They don't care. Can I ask a question, please? I want to ask something similar. Did moving the thing inside on the 20th, did that turn off a lot of his supporters too? Remembering that, Bernie Sanders did a great video on that too, about how Carter and Obama and all those, even though the weather was freezing and the wind chill, they still went out and greeted all their supporters that they could. And this guy, he was too busy having the three richest dudes in the US sitting behind him. Zuckerberg always looks like he's right out of his league. He looks like he doesn't belong. Okay, but can I ask a question, please? Did moving inside and not showing any support or sympathy for his supporters, did that turn some supporters off too? Did that turn some supporters off too? And that's a yes. Okay, one at a time. Next. Apparently he pardoned 1,500 criminal defendants who were convicted for assault and, beating up cops and all sorts of ghastly actions for January the 6th. He's released, 1,500 or more. Now, two of them, Rhodes and Tarrio, two of the main leaders, they were in prison for an extended period of time. Apparently, they have already been released. 600 of those that were charged, so out of the 1,500, 600 of them were charged with cop beating. There's no other way to say it, cop beating. However, these idiots, what was his name, Bernie Moreno, the Republican from Ohio, came out and said January the 6th is a thing of the past, a long time ago. No one is a stronger support of law enforcement than Felon 45. Cop beater, like pardoning. I just don't get my head around it. But when I saw that he'd pardoned all these people, I think this is going to backfire as well, because I do feel when I saw that he'd taken this action, that there were those amongst those that were released, and I'm talking about released from prison, who will go on to undertake heinous crimes. I'm not going to just including unaliving. Okay, am I right in this, Fields? Can you tell me, please? Can you tell me? Is the releasing of the 600, is this going to backfire? Now, the other 900, obviously, they got lesser sentences or they'd already done the time or whatever and were out, but 600, I believe, were physically released. Is releasing these going to backfire on them? And it's straight in, yes, it is. Can I ask a question, please? Is it because they're going? Some of them are going to undergo, just do something awful. And yes, and I knew that. Okay. Oh, intending to end birthright citizenship. So this is birthers, people who may be in the country without documentation, having children here, automatically gives them US citizenship, the children. Well, Elon's or Leon's and Melania's kids might be under that, since both of those came into the country under false pretenses. But anyhow, will he be successful in ending birthright citizenship? Okay, will he attempt to end it? Yes. Ugh. I mean, goodness me, the guy himself is a child of an immigrant. Legally came there, but anyhow. Will he succeed in ending birthright citizenship? Okay. Will any birthright citizens be, oh gosh, I don't even know where to ask how to ask this. It's going into a no. It's the guides are getting the vibe of what I'm meaning, as in, will they be expelled? Will they be deported? Yeah, that's a no. But that doesn't mean we don't have to fight the fight. It doesn't mean that we can sit at home and ignore. This means that we have to link the arms and fight the fight on behalf of these people. Okay, my next question. Falsely, oh goodness me, and on his the thing speech, wasn't it, what did they count? At least 22 lies or something, including who split the atom, which apparently was a New Zealander. But never, this bloviating bag of hot air never lets the truth get in the way. Claiming that China has taken over the Panama Canal, which Panama has said no, they haven't. But that won't stop, the truth won't stop him from spouting this sort of stuff. Will Trump order the military to invade Panama? Will he order? And that's a yes. But my big question is, because he's talking about sending 10,000 troops, will 10,000 troops go to Panama? Will they go to Panama? Right, that's at an angle, so that's a sort of. So it won't be 10,000. Can I ask, is it less than 10,000 troops? Is it less? So, yeah, he's going to send troops, but is it less than 10,000? Yes. Okay, can I ask, is it less than 5,000 troops? Is it less than 5,000 troops? Less than 5,000? No, so between 5 and 10. Why am I getting 8? I mean, it could be anywhere, 6, 7, 8, 9, but is it about 8,000 troops? Yeah, okay. Are they actually going to use the term invade Panama? Is it going to be a full, oh, he's not wanting to answer that one. Okay, let's see if I can put it another way. Are these troops going to go to Panama in a friendly manner? And that's a yes. Okay, they did not at all like that word invade. Are the troops, when they, ask a question round and round, are those troops, when they get to Panama, going to scratch their heads and wonder why the heck they're there? And that's an absolute yes, because there's no reason for them to go. Okay, where am I going from now? Oh, take note that all DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion staff have been put on paid leave indefinitely. Okay, my next question, California. Johnson's come out and basically said disaster relief aid to, I'll give my hand a bit of a rest, disaster relief aid to Canada will be conditional. and they will be looking carefully to see whether California deserve it or not. Oh, please! So since when has disaster relief been conditional and deserved? Like, oh, goodness me. My question about that is, okay, let's ask a question. Will the Californian state government legislate to keep disaster relief money or disaster rebuilding money, to keep money? Will the Californian state government legislate to keep more money, send less money federally? Send less money federally, yes. Okay. I'm not even going to ask. I don't know how legally they're going to word it. It's going to be rebuilding money. Okay, they're going to call it something like rebuild or something to rebuild Los Angeles. Yes. Okay, so yep, they're going to say, well, if you're going to be twats and not give us disaster relief, well, we'll just hang on to it ourselves. California is the fourth biggest economy in the world. Imagine all those red states that couldn't survive without the money that California provides. So yes, I'm getting that California is going to keep more. Okay, where do I go from here? Oh, why not? Who's going to be the first to fall off the twig? Is Trump going to be the first to fall off the twig? Is Trump... Actually, they want me to ask a different one first. Is Trump going to be removed from office? Is Trump going to be forcibly removed from his position as president? Yes. Straight into straight into a yes, but a big yes. Okay, next question. Will J.D. Vance step up as president? Will J.D. Vance step up as president? Will J.D. Vance step up as president? Will J.D. Vance step up as president if Trump is removed? Well, it's just going round and around. If Trump is no longer president, well, it's going no now. But my question is J.D. Vance, while Trump is in office, it's like J.D. Vance, J.D. who? While Trump is in office, is J.D. Vance going to remain in the role of vice president? Sort of. That's a big sort of. Okay. Because we know who's president and who's really vice president, and that president is Muskrat and vice president is the twat, felon 45. Where do I go with J.D. Vance? If the role of president is vacated by Trump, is J.D. Vance ever going to be president? Is J.D. Vance ever going to be president? They don't want to answer that one. That's a strange thing not to answer. Okay, I'd say that's probably still in play. Okay, my next question is, will there be, understanding that felon 45, now that he has done the thing, is now very expendable, will there be another unaliving attempt on Trump? A big yes. Will it be a successful unaliving attempt? Will they manage to unalive him? Will it be successful unaliving attempt? Right, that's a no. Side to side, no. Okay. I have seen him again go down to the podium. I saw, for those that have been with me for ages, saw the first one at Butler. Saw it as clear, talked about it, and boy oh boy, did that come true. Okay. Will it be a public unaliving attempt? I mean, as opposed to a cup of tea. Will it be a public unaliving attempt? Yes. Is it going to be along the lines of the Butler incident? Is it going to be along the lines of the Butler incident? Something similar? Taking a pot shot? No. Okay, I don't know what it's going to be. I might just leave that there. Oh, okay, right. Who goes first? Out of Trump, Putin, and Netanyahu. Does Netanyahu go first? Does Netanyahu go first? Yes. Yep. Yeah, I've always felt that he'll be the first one to fall. Does Putin go second? Okay, is Putin okay, when I'm saying go, I'm talking about being taken out of their role, not actually fallen off the twig, snuffed it. Is Putin going to go second? Oh, I don't know why I'm getting a sort of. It might be something still in play. Okay. Can I ask a question then, please? Can I ask a question? Will Trump, after Netanyahu goes, will Trump go? Yes. Okay, so Putin might be the... Am I getting a sort of? Can I ask a question? Am I getting a sort of because Putin is already gone? I have felt for ages that he's already gone, but he does use spiritual people significantly, and it has come to a dead stop. They're not going to tell me. I don't know whether that's because he's using spiritual people or not, but I do wonder whether he has already gone. Okay. Can I ask a question, please? When it all comes out in the wash, a lot of anger at Biden yesterday, and boy, oh boy, did I have it as well. Felt like we'd just been strung out to dry and abandoned. When it all comes out in the wash, will Biden be vindicated? Yes. So is the blame understanding? Now I've been there, I worked through all 7 stages of grief in the last 24 hours, and boy, I slept well last night. What needs to be said and the information that needs to come out cannot come from within the Dems administration. It has to come externally with proof. There will be a certain number that can claim it's AI. When I'm talking proof, I'm talking about telephone records. I'm talking about photographs of handing over stuff. I'm talking about, oh gosh, all that money transfers, etc. So I'll ask again. When it all comes out in the wash, will Joe Biden be vindicated for not taking action? Yes. Okay. What I want to ask now, Will the Trump cult, because it's beyond MAGA, will the Donald Trump cult, will they self-destruct? Because it has to come from within. Will they self-destruct? Yes. Now you've got to remember that the Trumpsters, their feeling of power comes from playing the victim, from losing, from hatred of those that they feel has taken something away from them. When they win, because they've won, and now they're finding out who actually is taking away from them. They won, so they haven't got that victim, but then they find out that who's taking away from them is within their own ranks. Oh man, boy. Is this eye-opening? Is this eye-opening? God, I'm not even going to read there. Okay. Oh, that was the last question I wanted to ask. Let me ask it. Let me ask it. Is the Tower card that keeps coming up card of the month? And so many of you are writing me saying, I did a reading and I got the Tower card. Is the Tower card that keeps coming up over and over for all of us? Yes. Can I ask a question, please? Because I had an aha moment this morning. Is it because we know that it was because Trump, his sole contract in this lifetime was to expose everything that he has exposed, all the failings in the government and legal systems that have been going on for decades. But they had been underhanded, they had been done on the sly, they had been done secretively, and would have continued to have been so. But now that he's brought it all out, is this Tower card, does this mean we have to strip down everything to the bare bones and rebuild again? Yes. Little yes. Sort of. Not everything, not necessarily all the way to the bare bones. As I said, Susan Lynn did a brilliant video on this. I think she said, basically, as she said, the foundations of the United States and many other countries, Australia is very much not innocent of this either, was built on invasion and conquest and suppression and slavery of the indigenous people, and then the US brought in slaves from other countries because that worked so well for them. And the indigenous people weren't submissive at all, so they basically broke the spirits of the people that they brought in. Australia, very much the same with our Indigenous population. We're not innocent of that either, that we basically had a form of Indigenous slavery, not even just a form, there was Indigenous slavery right up to early years of the 19th century. When I say early years, they didn't actually even get the right to be considered human until 1967. And that was because white people voted overwhelmingly to consider them as human beings. So the US was built on this ghastly foundation where history is taught as more of a mythology, making heroes out of those that weren't necessarily heroic, and not teaching the truth of the pain and hurt. I believe the US is in a Chiron return, which is the same cycle. Apparently the planets are all in the same places, where this first whatever took place, Battle of Independence or something along those lines took place. This is a time to rip the Band-Aid off and readdress the wound that was of that time. The wound is being, the seeping, festering wound is being exposed again so that it can be cleansed out, so that it can be scrubbed out, so that it can be scraped out and then treated and healed properly in the manner that it should be. So that's what do we have to. For those that are new, I had been married way long ago and way too early to a very narcissistic person, man, and managed to escape that marriage after about 9 years. Um, it was, for those that have been in a narcissistic relationship, they are the most incredibly charming people. And once they got you in their control, they then start undermining and belittling and undermining and belittling until you literally become a doormat for them to beat down upon. And then when something specifically happens where you just have this wake up moment and say no more, I've been through that 25, 30 years ago, been through that. This is the lesson that the US and many other parts of the world are going through now on a bigger scale. You have the narcissistic bully of the leaders, multiple, who once they have you under their control, their intention under their control is to then degrade and belittle so that you don't fight back, so that you lose more and more and more self-esteem and ability to fight back. What is going to happen for the Trumpsters? Because we're awake. We can see it from the outside and we are saying, get out of there. It's like anyone in a domestic violence situation. Until they are ready to leave, until they hit a certain point where they say no more, you can offer advice, you can encourage, you can try and explain to them, but they will always make excuses. The US and many other parts of the world are going through this at the moment as well. And until they reach a certain point, nothing we say will make a difference. And this is what's happening at the moment. The Trumpsters, and also those that were apathetic and didn't vote for whatever reason. Now, I'm not talking about the single mum with 3 jobs who literally did not have the time or the resources to take a day off to stand in a 3-kilometre queue to cast a vote. I'm talking about those who didn't and could have. Gosh, you guys got to get voting on the weekend and make it a lot easier. But until it gets to a point where they reach this line in the sand, this explosive moment, where they reach this no more moment, we are having to relearn this. And if you're like me, I'm going, I learned this lesson 25, 30 years ago. I don't want to learn it again. I really don't. I learned it then. It was hard and I'm on the other side. I don't want to have to learn it again. But here we are. On that note, I also want to say little quote that popped up to me this morning as well. When I'm talking about they will make excuses or double downing is just making an excuse. I remember a quote that I heard years ago, can't remember how long ago, decades ago, and it just really, really struck that when you make an excuse, if there's no factual foundation in it, for example, if you're being invited to a party and you've already, booked to go overseas on a holiday, that's fine. That's a good excuse. But if you are making an excuse not to do something or take an action or explore something, whatever it is that you can do, that you have the opportunity to do, you are lying to yourself. Excuses are lies to yourself. And I thought that was really, really profound. I'll just leave that to lie, because you can work out what that means for yourself. But I think those that know will know. So he's taken down the websites for the equal rights, reproductive rights, the application for immigration, the Spanish text pages. He's reversing the affordable drug pricing. All these things by 1,000 cuts are going to reach unacceptable line in the sands for particular people. And you will find that the cult will implode from the inside. And all I can say is, please, please, please let it be soon. And then, I don't know what order it's going to be in. There is going to be so much truth-telling that comes out about fudging the election, stealing the election. There's going to be so much truth coming out about, just all of it. Full illumination. And then we can move on. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I was thinking I might have done a couple of readings, but instead I've just done one really, really long one. So thank you for bearing with me. Let me know how you went in the comments. I may be back tomorrow, Friday, or I may simply just take a really long weekend and be back in Australia on Monday. See how it goes. I'll put a note up on the community page tomorrow if I'm not going to come on, just so that you know that nothing's happened. It's just okay. Love to you all. Take care.